Odyssey now has hundreds of new exclusive music stations for you to discover your new summer soundtrack.
Get moving with worthy workouts for a cardio sesh fueled by today's top artists.
Hanging with your crew? Throw it back with Picnic Party for old school jams for your cookout.
Or sail away with Odyssey's new yacht rock station, Jugger Yacht.
There are hundreds of new exclusive stations to check out today.
For summer barbecues,
road trips,
or relaxing poolside.
For every mood, every interest, every passion. By Odyssey. Brought to you in part by Macy's and Geico.
Good morning, Pittsburgh. It is a Friday. I hope your weekend, why not start it on a Friday? I hope your weekend is off to a great start. I'm really thrilled that you managed to find the Cook and Joe show on Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan. Joe is off today. He will be back Monday morning at 10. I'm Ron Cook, and it is my distinct pleasure and honor to be able to talk sports with you for the next 4 hours, as always, in Pittsburgh. There's a ton of ground to cover, and we're going to do our best to cover all of it. Going to talk some Steelers football, obviously. Going to talk some Penguins hockey, obviously. Going to talk about Justin Champagnie not being drafted last night, but signing a contract with the Toronto Raptors. Congratulations to him. I see Craig Meyer of the Post-Gazette said this two-way contract last year was worth about $450,000, so Justin Champagnie coming into a little bit of money. We'll see what he can do with this opportunity to make his NBA career. But there's so much baseball to start with. The trades yesterday, just unbelievable. Again, highlighting the difference between the haves and have-nots in baseball. And I'm going to get into that momentarily and also get your thoughts on that. But this is our Off the Top segment. It is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding. I wanted to start, though, a little bit of a sad note. My pal Terry Francona, manager of the Cleveland, I guess they're still the Indians this year, but going to be the Guardians starting next year, left the team yesterday and is going to miss the rest of the season for health reasons. Terry's 62, and he'd tell you he probably feels like he's 102. I've known this man for 40 years. I grew up in Beaver Falls. He grew up right across the river in New Brighton. I consider him to be one of my dearest friends in sports. This is his 9th season in Cleveland. He's a Hall of Fame manager. I don't think there's any question about that. 1,752 wins, ranks 18th on the all-time list. Jim Leyland, how about that, is 17th, just 17 more wins than Francona. But Terry won 2 World Series with Boston. He ended the long drought up there with the Red Sox. And then just a couple years ago, well, actually it's 5 years ago now, in 2016, he led the Indians to the World Series where they lost to the Cubs in 7 games. He's a hell of a manager, and he's a hell of a guy. But he's had a whole lot of health problems going back a number of years. He's had a lot of blood clotting issues. And I remember he nearly lost his life about 10 years ago because of these blood clotting issues. Last year, he managed only 14 games. That was the COVID season. They only played, 60. He only managed 14 of them. He had a bad gastrointestinal issue. And after he had some surgery, he ended up in intensive care because of the blood clotting issues. This year, he has a hip problem that needs surgery. He's been wearing a boot on his right foot all season because he had an infected toe. He's only 62, and he's had a variety of health problems. I don't know if it's stress. I know stress was a big issue for him in Boston. I'm thinking Boston might be the toughest place in all of baseball to manage. People talk about Philly. People talk about New York. But the scrutiny in Boston, I remember talking to him about that. He once told me if one of his players passes gas, it's a major story in the Boston papers. And he said one of his many trips to the doctor said, "Hey, Terry, you got to ease up on the stress. He said, "Yeah, right, with my job." But it's much easier, much more low-key in Cleveland. And that's why he's, loves Cleveland. I guess he talked passionately about the franchise. His dad, Tito, played on a bunch of teams during his playing days, and one of them was the Indians. And Terry has a love affair with Cleveland, and I just want to wish him the best. Again, I can't think of a better guy in baseball. I don't know, now that Jim Leyland is out of the game. Jim Leyland's the best manager I've ever been around. But Francona, to me, is the best in the game right now. I know La Russa certainly gets a lot of attention along those lines, Joe Madden. But for my money, Terry Francona is as good as it gets, and certainly wish him well. Again, he is headed to the Hall of Fame as far as I'm concerned. What he did in Boston alone, they should build a statue of him outside of Fenway Park. But best of luck to T, as we called him. A lot of people call him Tito after his dad. I've always known him as T or Terry. 62, health problems galore. Just wish the best for him because baseball needs him. He's good for baseball. All right, let's talk about the day yesterday. First of all, the Pirates lose to the Brewers 12-0. Okay, it's pretty hard to feel good right now about where the Pirates are. They were outscored in this series against Milwaukee 28-3. 28-3 in this 3-game sweep. Now, Milwaukee, I had on Bob Nightingale, or Odyssey MLB Insider, yesterday, and he said he thinks Milwaukee might be the team to beat. Loves them. They're that good. Well, it's hard to love the Pirates right now. They've traded away, maybe their best player in Adam Frazier. They traded away maybe their best starting pitcher in Tyler Anderson. They're going to probably trade away before the 4 o'clock deadline today Richard Rodriguez. But they just don't have a lot left. They're 38-64. They didn't have a lot to start with. Now they have a lot less to play with. They're on pace to lose 102 games. They need to go 25-35 in the final 60 games to avoid 100 losses. Good luck with that. I don't like their chances on that. But that was only part of the distressing news yesterday. Just the major league trades, just the difference again between the haves and the have-nots. I'm going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about those trades. The Dodgers front and center, Red Sox front and center, Yankees front and center. Surprising, right? They're the teams with the big money. They made the big deals yesterday. We'll talk about it when we come back. It's the Cook and Joe Show on Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan.
Odyssey now has hundreds of new exclusive music stations for you to discover your new summer soundtrack.
Get moving with worthy workouts for a cardio sesh fueled by today's top artists.
Hanging with your crew? Throw it back with Picnic Party for old school jams for your cookout.
Or sail away with Odyssey's new yacht rock station, Jugger Yacht.
There are hundreds of new exclusive stations to check out today.
For summer barbecues,
road trips,
or relaxing poolside.
For every mood, every interest, every passion. By Odyssey. Brought to you in part by Macy's and Geico.